In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and a vast bamboo forest, life moved at a gentle pace. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, relying on the land's bounty for their daily needs. Among their most treasured resources was the bamboo grove that stretched beyond the edge of the village. Strong and resilient, the bamboo provided them with building materials, tools, and, most importantly, tender bamboo shoots that were a staple in their meals. Every spring, families would venture into the forest, carefully collecting the fresh shoots that sprouted from the ground. It was a tradition passed down through generations, one that connected them to the land and to each other. The grove was a source of life, but within it stood one bamboo tree unlike any other. While most of the stalks stood tall and proud, reaching toward the sky, this particular bamboo bent low, as if bowing in humility. Its curved frame seemed almost unnatural, yet it remained strong and unbroken. The villagers often spoke of this peculiar tree in hushed tones, passing down an old tale from generation to generation, the legend of the grateful bamboo, a story of kindness repaid and a silent promise kept. In the heart of the village lived an elderly man named Master Liang. He was known by all for his wisdom, kindness, and unwavering generosity. Though he had little in terms of wealth, his true riches lay in the kindness he showed to others. Whether it was offering advice to the young, helping neighbors repair their homes, or sharing his meals with those who had none, Master Liang always put others before himself. For many years, he worked tirelessly to support his fellow villagers, tending to the fields, gathering firewood, and guiding those in need. Even when his own burdens weighed heavy upon him, he never hesitated to lend a helping hand. The villagers admired his selflessness, and though he never sought recognition, they often spoke of his gentle heart and the quiet strength he carried within him. However, as time passed, age took its toll. His once strong hands grew frail, and his steps, once quick and steady, became slow and uncertain. Tasks that had once been simple, carrying water, chopping wood, or bending to tend the earth, became increasingly difficult. The people of the village noticed his struggles and often offered their help, but Master Liang, though grateful, did not wish to burden others. One of his favorite tasks had always been gathering bamboo shoots in the spring. The fresh, tender shoots were a delicacy, a gift from the land, and he had always enjoyed the peaceful mornings spent searching for them in the bamboo grove. But now, each visit to the forest was a reminder of his fading strength. The shoots lay hidden beneath the towering stalks, their delicate forms just beyond his reach. He tried to kneel, to dig them out as he had done in his youth, but his aging body resisted. His knees ached, and his hands trembled with the effort. One day, after struggling to gather even a few shoots, Master Liang sighed and rested against a tall bamboo stalk. He closed his eyes, listening to the gentle rustling of the leaves above him. "If only I were young again," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. Little did he know, the forest had been listening. The bamboo grove, which had stood as a silent witness to his kindness for so many years, was about to repay him in a way he never expected. One crisp morning in early spring, as the mist still clung to the hills, Master Liang made his way to the bamboo grove. The season had just begun, and he knew that fresh bamboo shoots would be sprouting beneath the towering stalks. Though his body had grown weak with age, he longed to continue the simple joys he had cherished all his life. Gathering bamboo shoots had once been effortless. He would squat low, dig gently into the earth, and collect the tender shoots to bring home. But this year felt different. As he stepped into the grove, the towering bamboo swayed gently in the wind, their leaves whispering softly above him. He smiled, running his calloused fingers along one of the smooth green stalks. The bamboo had always been a source of life for the village, and for him, it held memories of many seasons past. Taking a deep breath, he bent down, searching for the young shoots hidden beneath the thick stalks. But as he tried to reach them, his body protested. His knees ached, his back stiffened, and his fingers, once steady and strong, trembled as he tried to dig through the earth. The shoots were there, just out of reach, tucked beneath the dense cluster of bamboo. He tried again, forcing himself lower, but his legs quivered, and he nearly lost his balance. Frustration swelled within him. He had spent his life working, helping others, and never once had he felt so powerless. Panting, he leaned against a sturdy bamboo stalk, pressing his palm to its cool surface. He closed his eyes and let out a weary sigh. "If only I had the strength of my youth," he murmured softly, his voice barely louder than the wind rustling through the leaves. It was not a request, merely a wistful thought, a quiet longing for the days when his body had not betrayed him. Little did he know, the forest had been listening. The bamboo grove had stood for centuries, watching over those who walked among its roots. It had seen Master Liang come year after year, tending to the land with care, treating the trees with respect, and giving more than he ever took. The wind carried his whispered words through the grove, and for the first time, the bamboo swayed not just with the breeze but with understanding. As the sun began to set, a silent promise passed through the forest, a promise of gratitude, of kindness repaid. The bamboo had made its decision. By morning, Master Liang's world would change forever. That night, as the full moon bathed the bamboo grove in silver light, the forest stood in deep contemplation. The wind whispered through the leaves, carrying with it the quiet sorrow of Master Liang's weary sigh. The bamboo had watched him for years, had felt his gentle hands tending to the land, had listened to his laughter and his songs as he worked. He had never taken more than he needed, never harmed the grove, and had always treated it with respect. Now, in his old age, he was struggling, and the forest could not simply stand in silence. A decision was made, a silent vow among the tallest stalks that swayed in the moonlight. The bamboo, strong and unyielding for generations, would bow. Not out of weakness, but out of gratitude. As the first light of dawn touched the hills, Master Liang once again made his way to the grove. He moved slower than before, his heart heavy with the knowledge that his body could no longer do what it once had. Yet something was different that morning. The air felt still, as if the forest was waiting for him. When he stepped into the clearing, his breath caught in his throat. Before him stood the tallest and strongest bamboo stalk in the grove, but it was no longer reaching toward the sky. Instead, it had bent low, its arching frame curving toward the earth. It was as if it had bowed before him, humbling itself in silent reverence. And beneath its graceful curve, resting gently on the soft earth, lay fresh bamboo shoots, plentiful, ripe, and perfectly within reach. Master Liang fell to his knees, not out of weakness this time, but out of overwhelming gratitude. His weathered hands traced the bamboo's smooth surface, his fingers trembling as he realized what had happened. The forest had heard him. The grove had remembered his kindness. And now, in his time of need, it had given him a gift, one that asked for nothing in return. Tears welled in his aged eyes as he whispered his thanks, his voice barely above a breath. He gently patted the bamboo's sturdy trunk, feeling the warmth of life beneath its surface. He did not question the miracle. He only smiled, his heart full, knowing that kindness, no matter how small, was never forgotten. In the days that followed, Master Liang continued to visit the bamboo grove, always finding the bent stalk waiting for him, its fresh shoots within easy reach. Word of the strange yet wonderful sight soon spread through the village. At first, the people could hardly believe it, a bamboo tree that bowed on its own, as if showing respect to an old man. But when they saw it with their own eyes, they could not deny the truth. The tallest and strongest bamboo in the grove, the one that had always stood proud and unyielding, had now humbled itself, bending so that the elderly and weak could gather food without struggle. The villagers marveled at the sight, whispering among themselves that it must be a sign, a gift from nature itself. Some called it a miracle, while others believed that the bamboo had simply returned the kindness that Master Liang had shown it throughout his life. The story of the grateful bamboo spread beyond the village, reaching travelers and merchants who passed through. People from neighboring towns came to see the legendary tree, standing in quiet awe as they watched it bow gracefully toward the earth. Many who heard the tale carried it back to their own villages, sharing it as a lesson in kindness, respect, and the power of gratitude. As the years passed, Master Liang grew older, but he was never alone. The villagers cared for him just as he had once cared for them, and the grateful bamboo remained by his side. When he finally passed on, the people of the village continued to visit the grove, honoring both the old man and the tree that had shown him such devotion. Generations later, the legend still lives on. Even today, in a quiet village surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, the grateful bamboo still bows low, a silent reminder of a promise kept. And whenever the wind rustles through its leaves, carrying whispers through the grove, the villagers smile, knowing that kindness, no matter how small, always finds its way back.